Did you know that toilet paper, as we know it today, only became a commercial product in the 19th century? But then comes a very uncomfortable question. What did humans use before that? The answer is leaves, moss, stones, snow, corn cobs, old newspapers, and one strange Roman object that sounds almost impossible today. For us, toilet paper is so normal that we barely think about it. It sits there in a soft white roll, ready whenever we need it. But for most of human history, nothing like that existed. And if running out of toilet paper feels like a small disaster today, imagine living in a world where it had not been invented at all. That is where this strange, dirty, and surprisingly human story begins. Humans have always had to solve one basic problem: how to stay clean after using the bathroom. It is not glamorous, but it is one of the oldest problems in daily life. Long before cities, plumbing, soap, or supermarkets, people still needed some kind of hygiene. For ancient humans, this was not about luxury. It was about health, smell, infection, and survival. Today, the solution takes seconds. Thousands of years ago, people simply looked around and used whatever nature provided. In forests, that might have been leaves. In wet places, moss. Near rivers or beaches, sand, smooth stones, or shells. In cold regions, snow. In dry areas, grass or small rocks. It sounds unpleasant now, but there was logic behind it. People used what their environment gave them. And here is the surprising part. Some old solutions were not always worse. Many cultures used water, and for many people, water was cleaner than dry wiping. That idea survived into bidets, handheld sprays, and modern smart toilets. But before humanity reached heated seats and automatic washing, history passed through some very strange stages. When people began living in towns and cities, the problem became bigger. One person in the forest is one thing. Thousands of people living close together is something completely different. Early civilizations had to deal with waste, smell, water, and disease. So they developed drainage systems, public toilets, and different cleaning habits. In some places, people used smooth stones or pieces of broken pottery. In others, they used cloth, plants, wooden sticks, sand, or water. The method depended on climate, culture, wealth, and access to clean water. And then came ancient Rome. Rome was famous for roads, aqueducts, public baths, and engineering. But one of its most famous toilet-related objects sounds horrifying today. It was called a xylospongium, a sponge on a stick. Yes, a stick with a sponge attached to the end. According to a common interpretation, it may have been rinsed in water, salt water, or vinegar and used for cleaning in public toilets. But historians are careful with this detail. Some argue it may have been more of a toilet cleaning tool than a personal wiping tool. Still, the possibility is enough to make modern people uncomfortable. Because if the popular version is true, this may have been a shared object in a public bathroom. One sponge, many people. To us, it sounds like the beginning of a horror movie. To a Roman, it may have been normal city life. That is the strange contrast of history. Rome could move water across huge distances and build roads that lasted for centuries. But bathroom hygiene could still involve something that makes us want to wash our hands immediately. While much of the world kept using natural materials, China moved in another direction. Because paper was invented there, it eventually became part of toilet hygiene centuries before it became common in the West. Later, special paper was even made for the imperial court. But in most of the world, progress was slow. Through the Middle Ages and later centuries, people continued using whatever was available. Leaves, hay, moss, rags, water, old cloth, and scraps of paper. Rich people could use softer materials. Poor people used whatever worked. Then, Printing changed everyday life. Newspapers, pamphlets, catalogs, and cheap paper became common. People read them first and used them for something very different later. In rural America, one famous solution was the corn cob. After the corn was eaten, the dried cob remained. It was free, available, and practical. Comfortable? Probably not. But history is full of things that worked long before they became pleasant. The real turning point came in 1857, when Joseph Gayeti began selling one of the first commercial toilet papers in the United States. It was not a modern roll. It came as flat sheets and was advertised as a cleaner, healthier product. But people did not immediately rush to buy it. Paying for paper you would use once and throw away seemed strange, especially when old newspapers and catalogs were already available. The big change came when toilet paper became cheaper, softer, and easier to produce for millions of people. Rolls appeared. Perforated sheets appeared. Factories improved. Slowly, toilet paper became normal. The true breakthrough was not just invention, it was mass production. Once companies could make toilet paper quickly and cheaply, it moved from strange product to everyday necessity. Today, toilet paper seems simple, but behind every roll is a huge system. Forests, recycling, factories, water processing, packaging, shipping, sanitation rules, and marketing rules. Modern toilet paper must be strong enough to use, soft enough for comfort, and weak enough to break down in plumbing. To an ancient human, it would look like magic. But the story is not over. In many parts of the world, water never stopped being the main method of cleaning. Bidets, handheld sprays, and Japanese smart toilets show that the future may not be about better paper. It may be about using less paper. The next stage will probably be shaped by technology and sustainability. Toilet paper uses resources, and wet wipes can damage sewage systems. Smart toilets already have heated seats, automatic flushing, water cleaning, air drying, odor control, sensors, and personalized settings. Some can even monitor certain health signals. So the journey is not just from rough to soft. It is from random materials found in nature to intelligent devices that clean, dry, adjust, and maybe even analyze the human body. And maybe 100 years from now, people will look back at our toilet paper rolls the way we look at Roman sponge sticks, with one question. They really used that? The history of toilet paper is not just the history of a household product. It is the story of humans solving one basic, awkward, unavoidable problem of daily life. From leaves, moss, stones, snow, and corn cobs, to paper sheets, factory rolls, bidets, and smart toilets. We often think progress means rockets, computers, electricity, and artificial intelligence. But sometimes progress is much simpler. Sometimes progress means leaving the bathroom clean, comfortable, and without thinking about the strange journey that made it possible. Because even the most ordinary things around us were once strange inventions, and toilet paper may be one of the best examples of how humanity moved from ancient survival to modern comfort. From ancient to today.